Welcome into a Friday edition of Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Today on the show, timing is everything, especially when it relates to Deion Jones. Gabe Burns is going to join me from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Him and I are going to chop up some Braves talk with you. And are the Braves missing Freddie Freeman more than we want to admit? It's all next. It's Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.
This is Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. And it starts now.
We welcome into a Friday edition of Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery. We ask you to head over to youtube.com, put Locked On Sports Atlanta into your browser, hit that subscribe button, give us a comment, and leave us a review if you would, please. And then you can follow me on my personal Twitter page. That would be at JMCH316. So we got the news yesterday that Deion Jones is going to be out until at least training camp having shoulder surgery. Let me look at the calendar here. Let's see. May 27th. Let's see. June 1st is coming close, isn't it? Let me see. If I do my math. Oh, so we're a week or less away from June. Now, what is June 1st in the NFL? I wonder what that day. Oh, you mean that's cuts where we can save salary, trades, roster change. Oh, okay. Timing is everything. And this is what I believe about this whole thing. This is not just some random happenstance of this is the time that unfortunately we realize that Deion Jones needs surgery on the shoulder. Now let's clear up a few things, okay? First off, this is not reconstructive surgery. This is not we have to go in and build a bionic elbow or shoulder, for Deion Jones. We don't have to go in there and put a metal plate into his shoulder so that he can live the rest of his life or whatever like that. This is, we're going to go in and clean up some stuff and get him fixed up and ready to go. Beep, bada, boop, bop, bop, right? We get it cleaned up. A few weeks later, he's ready to go. Oh, but, hey, listen, we just realized in the end of May that we need to do this. Anybody buying this? Are any of y'all out there in listener land buying the timing on all this kind of stuff? I want to make sure I'm clear on this. You really think that he exited the building for his exit interview in whatever, early January after the season, and he hadn't had a medical done and they didn't already know that he needed surgery? Okay. If you believe that, then I have some beachfront property in Des Moines, Iowa that I want to sell you. That's a beautiful resort town on the ocean, because that's where you'd have to be to buy into this stuff. Let me give you the no spin talk about this, okay? June 1st is coming right around the corner. There's been a ton of rumors about Deion being cut, traded, this, that, and the other. Oh, conveniently, a week or so before all of that, Deion's going to need surgery and be out for a few weeks. So they don't have to worry about cutting him, because you can't cut him while he's rehabbing like this. You're not so much worried about trading him because his market value probably isn't much. And if it gets to be time and you trade him in, let's say, in a month, 2 months from right now, and you don't get much back, the narrative spin will be, well, this will be from some of the media folks in the world. Well, he's damaged goods. He's just coming off of shoulder surgery. His value was, if they had traded him a while back, his value would have been there. But now he's coming off shoulder surgery and they don't know. Yes, they know. This is not a big procedure. But the timing of all of this is very, what's the old song? Things that make you go, out there. Do I think Deion Jones is going to be an Atlanta Falcon when training camp starts? Nope. Do you think that Deion Jones, with mandatory minis coming up, not regular training camp, your mandatory minis, you think Deion Jones, if perfectly healthy, would have been there? He wouldn't have been. Deion's not a fool. I've met Deion Jones, talked to him in person, interviewed him. He's not a fool. And he understands and reads the writing on the wall. he's not a good fit for this defense. He's not an ideal fit with a 3-man front, and especially with 280-pound defensive linemen that you have. He's getting beat up all around. His job is not to come down and try to help in the run game and take on blockers and all that kind. He's a coverage linebacker. He can run and hit and do all those things, and he can take on running backs, but he's a coverage linebacker. And his role in a 3-4 front isn't the same. It's not coincidence that they drafted and signed as free agents two things, bigger, stronger guys that are bigger, guys that weigh more, guys with more body mass. That's not coincidence, folks. It all didn't just happen in a vacuum and all these kinds of things. This is all calculated. I believe that when he was exiting out, that they had a realistic discussion. You know how we heard about all these discussions that they had with Matt Ryan, right? And then when they came to Matt and talked to him about Deshaun Watson and this, that, and the other, he said, I'm out of here. See ya. Hasta lasagna. Don't get any on you. I think they told Deion Jones the reality of the situation too. So don't be fooled by the timing and of all this stuff. There are calculated reasons why. I think when training camp hits, Deion Jones will not be an Atlanta Falcon. He will be traded away. They won't get much in return. They'll put all the spin and PR on it that they will, because they've been good about it. Listen, they're selling you on the idea that they walked away from Matt Ryan. In the words of Steve Austin, he walked away from them. All right, when we get back, Gabe Burns is going to join us from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Not a good night for the Braves. Last night, some of their old habits. We'll break down all things Atlanta Braves with Gabe up next. This is Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.